Sean Strickland just took out Abus Magomedov, and he made it look very, very easy with a little bit of a rocky start, but he had a fantastic performance. This leaves us with one question. Who is next for Israel Adesanya? We might have an answer to that, and that might be Sean Strickland. We're going to talk about the potential matchup about Israel Adesanya and Sean Strickland and what I would look forward to, and because I think it's a great idea. I think it's something they should do next. But again, we're going to talk about it in just a second. Before we do, though, I do want to say hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels. Let's talk about this potential matchup. So, why do I think Sean Strickland should get a title fight? First of all, I think when people risk their rankings, and I understand, like, this isn't, like, the best defense for him to get a title shot, you know what I mean? But I really like when people like Sean Strickland put their world championship ranking, I believe he was number 7 at the time, puts it on the line for some guy who's unranked with a ton of hype. There is huge risk involved, and I believe people should be rewarded with that, whether it's by paying them or maybe a little bit of a bump up in the rankings. I understand you can't throw him in front of other guys, but like make it easier for him to get a title shot. He just had a fantastic performance, but I actually believe that he could be fighting Israel Adesanya next because, like a lot of people have been talking about, I'm not like making groundbreaking news here, right? The only person who can actually get another fight against Israel Adesanya is Robert Whittaker because the UFC has expressed interest in Robert Whittaker versus Israel Adesanya 3, assuming Whittaker beats Duplessis this weekend. While that is most likely going to happen, that would be an insane upset if Robert Whittaker lost. Very possible, but Robert Whittaker is probably going to dominate and do what he wants to Dricus Duplessis and then campaign for a fight against Israel Adesanya. But the UFC has a potential to make a matchup that could sell so incredibly well in Israel Adesanya versus Sean Strickland. Imagine the press conference here. Imagine the Sean Strickland already said something that I can't even repeat on YouTube here. He's already hyping it up. He's like, I want to fight the first, champion because of this and that, like it's not like he used any actual bad words, but like the reasoning behind it, like it was a little bit touchy, you know what I mean? So I'm going to err on the side of safety that one and not talk about it, but Sean Strickland is always saying this crazy stuff, and we have that big exchange. I don't remember which press conference it was, but you guys already know what I'm talking about with Sean Strickland and Israel Adesanya with Alex Pereira there. Sean made that one of the greatest press conferences we have seen in a very long time. It's something the UFC has been missing. This guy can promote it, especially with a guy like Adesanya at his side. Everybody would be so hyped up for this fight. Here's the problem, though. Sean Strickland and Israel Adesanya, once they get into the fight, I think Adesanya will be absolutely like doing whatever he wants. It's going to look like Robert Whittaker versus Dricus Duplessis, except potentially worse. Sean Strickland has the iCarly stance where he just stands up there and walks forward with his arms like really close, and it's not like the best style in the whole world. So I can see him doing this and walking forward just, with his pitter-patter 1-2. Adesanya chopping down the legs. And Sean Strickland had some problems with the leg kicks in the first round against Abus. He's a great fighter, but Adesanya does this so much better. Adesanya's going to attack. He's going to be relentless. He's going to throw the leg kicks. Sean Strickland's not going to check them. Adesanya's going to pick them apart. Sean Strickland's going to throw a 1-2. Adesanya's going to duck it and maybe go to the body and the head again. Like, I just see Adesanya putting on an absolute clinic here. While I would be incredibly excited for this fight, I believe Adesanya would just outmatch him completely. If you want a fight where it's really, really closely contested, you throw Robert Whittaker in there. We've seen it. The second fight was incredibly close. That would be like, oh my God, who's going to win this fight? But all they have for this fight with Israel Adesanya is the build up to it, because I really believe that Sean Strickland offers nothing for Israel Adesanya. I could like, it doesn't matter who we're cheering for. It doesn't matter like if you could say, oh, Sean Strickland can go 5 rounds or whatever. Adesanya will piece him up at every point in that fight. He could put on a clinic. Even if he wants to get into a brawl, it doesn't even matter. Adesanya is better everywhere besides maybe the ground, but I think I'm not convinced that Sean Strickland has the greatest ground game. Everybody's like, oh my God, he has such high-level jiu-jitsu. He could take down Adesanya. I'm like, we haven't really seen enough, We've seen him on the ground, but we haven't seen enough. Adesanya does have a weak point there, but is he going to even be able to get close to Israel Adesanya? You got to think about the way Sean Strickland fights. He's going to stand there and walk forward. He's not going to shoot a takedown. He's going to want to box with Israel Adesanya, and Adesanya is going to be chopping him up. The point is, for this fight, it makes sense to put Sean Strickland in there next because we don't know, not everybody wants to see Robert Whittaker fight Israel Adesanya again. I want to see it because Robert Whittaker is one of my favorite fighters of all time, but still, you get the point. This is something that is brand new. It's more enticing, and we don't know if Sean Strickland is going to continue winning. If he fights anybody in the top 5, there's a very good chance that Sean Strickland loses. You want to take a look at, like, if you take a look at, like, Marvin Vettori and Paulo Costa, I don't even love Sean Strickland's chances in beating them. Maybe Paulo Costa, maybe, but I don't know. Like, there would be up in the air, and then you lose that opportunity for Sean Strickland, and he get bumped down the rankings a little bit. If you're going to give him a title fight, now is probably the time that you'll want to give it to him, because this matchup would sell incredibly well. I really do believe that. I'm not saying Sean Strickland's a big draw or anything, but Sean Strickland will definitely make more eyes come to this. He'll be saying some wild stuff, and he can really get under Adesanya's skin. But the matchup, you could definitely do better. You could definitely do better in the top 5, even if that's Cannonier, even if that's Robert Whittaker. It doesn't matter. So that's where I'm conflicted. I still think that you should throw the fresh matchup in there. Throw Sean Strickland in the title fight. If he proves me wrong, he proves me wrong, but I don't think that'll happen at all. That would be one of the most surprising fights or performances that I will ever have seen in my life. So this is where I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Let me know what you think. What do you think about this potential matchup? Do you think this is something that the UFC should do next? I'd love to hear from you down below, guys, and thank you so much for watching this video. On the screen right now, if you want to continue watching the Clenbat channel, you'll have 2 fantastic videos. One's early UFC 290 preview, so go check that out. I'll see you there, guys. Take care.